If your BMW is equipped with an Apple CarPlay unit or your factory iDrive has Apple CarPlay capabilities, then we'll be showing you an application that you can download that will enable you to view all of your vehicle's data points. So this means monitoring temperatures, oil pressure, battery voltage, and every single bit of data behind every sensor in your vehicle, all at the tap of a fingertip. So this app here is called BimmerLink, and what this allows you to do is connect to your vehicle using any OBD2 scanner that's Bluetooth compatible like this one, and basically monitor all of the different control units and systems on your vehicle all remotely using your mobile phone. But recently there's an update that rolled out to Apple CarPlay that actually enables all of these capabilities within a mobile app on the CarPlay menu. So this is the OBD-Link CX Bluetooth connector, and you can use any different type of these connectors to link to your vehicle. This is the one I recommend, linked down below. And what we're going to do is connect this into the OBD2 port, and we'll simply install it just like that. And now we can see everything lit up, showing that we have power and Bluetooth connection. And so on my e-chassis vehicle, this is how the factory key fob looks. I actually recently upgraded to the G series metal key fobs on my E92, so link for that video up above. But all we're going to do is install the key fob into the ignition slot and power on the vehicle electronics. And from here, we can now access the BimmerLink app. All we're going to do is click this connect button here and then scroll down and select our BMW model. And then we'll see now it's going to say connecting, and it's going to read all the different control units in your vehicle. And now with everything fired up, we can now access all of the different control units as well as perform services that you would otherwise do at the dealership. But the most important thing that I'm making this video on is the ability to view all of your sensor values right here. So you can see I have engine oil temperature, battery voltage, coolant temperature, engine oil level, my oil sensor level per millimeter, the vehicle speed, water pump speed, and literally any other thing that we'd want to monitor on the vehicle. We can set it right here as a hotkey, and we can add any data point we want. And the reason why that's important is all of these will be displayed on our Apple CarPlay unit as soon as we fire up the application. And just look at how many different data points we can monitor on our vehicle in real time just using this application. And there's just so many different pieces of information that we can monitor behind the wheel. And guys, the reason why having this data available is so important is you basically have all of the analytics behind the vehicle all at the tap of a finger. You can check oil temperatures, coolant temperatures, water pump speeds, basically every single thing within the control units that you want to monitor, you can monitor all from your phone. But the reason why this is so revolutionary is because now you can do it all from your Apple CarPlay menu. So now if you track your car, if you're a spirited driver, maybe you're just trying to troubleshoot an issue with, let's say, your water pump, you can view all these different data points all from your Apple CarPlay screen. So now what I'll do is I'll actually fire up the vehicle, I'll take you inside the car with me, and you can see why this is so convenient to have access to all this information directly from your CarPlay screen. So let's go ahead and go inside the vehicle. Perfect, guys. And now that we're in the vehicle, you can see that my Apple CarPlay is fully fired up. And all the different data points that I equipped as hotkeys right here on my mobile phone, if we just launch the application on my touchscreen CarPlay unit here, I'm going to show you that they're all going to translate right over. And this is absolutely revolutionary, guys, because we can now understand how the vehicle's operating behind the wheel. So we can view engine oil temperatures, we can view our battery voltage, we can view our oil level, we can view our coolant temperatures, we can view all these different data points that we otherwise would have not had on the factory gauge cluster or iDrive system. And now a super cool feature that we can do as well is we can control our exhaust flap. So if you have an M Sport vehicle, you're going to have valves inside the exhaust that open or close to make the vehicle either louder or more quiet. But now with our BimmerLink app integrated directly into our CarPlay unit, we can simply reach over without having to mess with our phone, and we can open or close the exhaust flap, or you can even put it to automatic, which is going to open it up depending if you have it in sport mode, and close it if you don't. And as an example of all the different sensor values that we can now add directly to our home screen, Let's go ahead and open up the menu. And now let's say we want to add the battery load percentage. Let's go ahead and add that to our home screen menu. And then we'll hit the done sign there after it's toggled. We'll hit done. So now it's going to refresh and we can see our battery voltage here is going to show 1.02 volts. And then if we scroll down to the bottom, we'll see battery load at 0%. So we can in real time add hundreds of different data points, which is going to keep us educated on our vehicle, especially if you're driving it on a track or if you just want to monitor all of the important data behind the wheel. And then from there, let's go ahead and open up the BimmerLink app on the CarPlay unit. And we can now monitor the exact data point that we just added. And again, the reason why having all of this information is so helpful is the factory iDrive system can only tell you so much data. It can tell you the PSI of your tires, it can tell you engine oil levels, it can tell you fault codes, but it cannot tell you battery voltage and specifics behind temperatures and different components. So having all that information at your fingertips means that you have more confidence when you get behind the wheel for you to drive spiritedly on a track, on a road trip, or any situation where you would need to closely monitor your vehicle data. Let's use troubleshooting, for example. Imagine you're driving your vehicle and you're out on the highway and you suddenly start to lose power and you notice all your different warning lights come on. Well, by simply going into the BimmerLink app on your Apple CarPlay, you can see the battery voltage and the battery load percentage, letting you know, something might be wrong with my battery or my alternator. So just having all this information right in the middle of your CarPlay screen and not needing to pull over on the side of the road and check through your phone is just such a huge advantage. And I myself didn't even know for the longest time that there was an Apple CarPlay app for this. And now hopping on over to my BMW E90, even if your vehicle came with the factory iDrive system, no matter if it's CCC, CIC, NBT, NVT Evo, you're still only going to have such a limited amount of vehicle data. You'll have engine oil levels, your tire pressure, and maybe if you get lucky, a few temperatures here and there. But you're not going to be able to access and configure every single sensor that your vehicle has equipped with it all on your screen right in front of you. There's no way you're going to be able to view O2 sensor data, fuel injector data, fuel pressure from the fuel rail, coolant temperatures from the radiator, airflow mass, and anything that's really in depth that could help you troubleshoot later down the line. Being a car guy, being somebody who's worked on my car for about the last 7 years myself and actually wrenched on it, having all these different data points, being able to view something as specific as the water pump fan speed, all the way down to transmission solenoid positions, inlet air temperatures, mass airflow sensor load, and just every little piece of data you could ever want, all on a large touchscreen display is an absolute no-brainer for any enthusiast who wants to keep an in-depth eye on their vehicle. And on top of that, guys, there's just so many things we can do with this application. I've spoke on the sensor values religiously in this video. I've also showed you guys the exhaust flap positions that you can open them, close them, put them on automatic. But even here, we can actually read even more in depth into the vehicle battery. We can view the exact size of the battery. We can view the charge state of it. We can view the type of battery it is. We can configure and program new batteries, which is a dealership function. We can now do it from our mobile phone. We can also check all of our error memories so we can see all the different fault codes that we have throughout every single control unit in the vehicle. And now something that's extremely helpful, especially if you don't want to go to the dealership. If you own a newer BMW, we have the service reset function. So now when we have that pesky oil light come on, or now when we have the service interval light come on, or you have the brake warning light come on, all these different things that the dealership has to reprogram or reset the service on, we can now do it from our phone. So one thing that's extremely pesky on these BMWs is the service intervals. You cannot clear this error message off unless you have an official and approved BMW OBD2 scan tool. But now we can actually do that just using a mobile phone and a Bluetooth scanner. And now one thing that does go completely neglected that is a massive functionality improvement is our circuit lock reset functionality. So on these BMWs, the electrical system is extremely sensitive. And now an example of this would be, let's say one of your interior lights has shorted out. After a certain amount of cycles, I believe it's 50 cycles of the vehicle turning off and on, If a bulb is burnt out, the electrical system on the BMW will actually cut power to that bulb altogether. So even if you replace it in the future, there will still be no power getting sent out to the burnt out bulb. And yes, this is factual information. This is called the circuit lock. So in our case here, we can simply reset the circuit lock, which is going to restore power back to that bulb. So if you want to take control of your drive and have all of your vehicle data right at the end of your fingertips, then I highly recommend each and every one of you BMW enthusiasts download the BimmerLink app, set it up on your Apple CarPlay unit, and it'll completely revolutionize your driving experience while adding a massive amount of functionality. Thank you guys so much for watching, and be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell to stay in the loop on more helpful BMW videos like this one.